All right, good morning. So this morning what I have for you is a whole bunch of curriculum, materials, and supplies for kindergarten. First, our product of the day. This is called Life Vac. What it does is it has 3 different size masks. One for little kids, one for toddlers and babies, and one for adults. If someone is choking and the Heimlich maneuver isn't working, all you do is grab this, take it, put this on this, and the suction over their face, I'm trying to show you on my hand, the suction over their face, this goes down and you can suck it out of their throat. So that's called Life Vac. I, thank goodness, never had to use it, but I bought it just in case. So again, very simple. If the Heimlich maneuver doesn't work on an adult, you grab the mask, put it over their face, suck and pull, and the suction should pull it out. The reviews of it indicate that it has saved many lives from the reviews I've read. But so anyway, that is product number 1. Product number 2 is Quick Cash. Quick Cash for teens. What I love about it, besides the fact that it goes into accounting, bookkeeping, and stuff like that, is the 101 ideas it has, because some of them I had never thought of for how to make money for kids. So Quick Cash for teens, I just saw it at the library and grabbed it, and it's very interesting. All the different options they have, 101 different jobs. Astrologer, tarot card reader, baker, babysitter, beta tester, bicycle repair, all these different things, biking tour guide. So all these different jobs and possible ways that they can earn money. So those are my 2 products of the day. Now let's talk about kindergarten curriculum, materials, and products. Okay, so this is the home learning year by year. And what I love about the home learning year by year, so this is the home learning year by year. And what I love about it is I use it to make my report cards. I guess you call them report cards, or I don't know what you call them, transcripts. So language arts, phonics, decoding, and word recognition, you just read the cap locks. Those are things that they should be knowing. Only because I like to know where my child stands in relation to this, just at report card time or transcript time. And then you head on over to reading comprehension, order pictures in proper sequence for telling a story. Okay, so it goes all the way through year by year. Secret of the Hidden Scrolls, this is very interesting. It talks about the beginning of the world as viewed by the Bible. So they go back in time and they're there to solve a mystery in the first 7 days. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Next, a product I like is, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna show you the curriculum that I like least, the curriculum that I'm gonna return. So these, I think it's important to do affirmations and positive thinking, like I am courageous, I am enough. So every day pick a card in our morning basket, I am helpful, and that's what we focus on that day. I can try again, have a magic day. So, I was coming up with affirmations myself, and these ones were just better. Speaking of which, another item I love for kindergarten is the yoga dice. That's how we transition sometimes from morning basket into other stuff, is the dice. You roll them, and there's different yoga positions on them. And then you can choose one. So someone rolls them and then they choose a position to do out of that. Is it the last game? One of the last games I have is Sum Swamp. And what I like about Sum Swamp is, now I have a lot of products for grade 1 too. I'm gonna do a grade 1 video. So some of the products that are super cool, but just not kindergarten level, I saved until they were older. So I'm gonna do, after this video, the next video I'm filming is grade 1. Okay, so take a look at this. This is Sum Swamp. All right, and what you do is very easy. You roll the dice, you add it up, and then you move those spots. So I'm not exactly sure if that's kindergarten or grade 1, but we did in kindergarten. But again, you can do it whenever your child is ready. That's what I mean about the grade 1 video, is I have some super cool curriculum to show you, but it's not suitable for kindergarten per se. But one of the curriculums I do love for kindergarten, for science, and I switch it in grade 1 to a completely different science program, but in kindergarten, is the Blossom and Root Science. It is secular, so you may not like it if you don't like secular things, I guess, but it is very good. Hopefully you'll see it on the screen, and I'm also going to show you this book I love. So Under Earth is on one side. It's by a Polish couple, and Underwater is on the other side. It's by the same couple that did the math book, which is pretty amazing. I can show you in the grade 1 one. Okay, so Under Earth, let's go and open it. So one of them is the artist and one of them is the teacher, as far as the author goes. So this is everything under the earth. Look at this. These are the deepest tunnels that have ever been dug for subways in there. So it has just the coolest stuff, from animals to, you know, mining, to different things you didn't even think about under the earth. Fossils, how they get under the earth. Look at this. This is all, I don't know what you call it, pipes, sewers, like sewage. There you go, sewage under there. But it also has like bugs and microorganisms. So it's got a ton of stuff and kids just love it. You can get this at the library and see how your kids like it. So, because it is pricey to buy. I bought it used, shocker. And then under the water, it's got submarines. It's got the deep dwellers. So it has tons, anything that goes on under the water, like the Titanic goes on under the water because it sank. Underwater chimneys. So it just has some magnificent stuff, if you ask me. Oil and gas platforms. So you're learning just about a lot of cool stuff. So that is one of my favorite books as far as books go too. We got a couple more. How Does My Homework? This one I like. Look at that. It's got all the pipes, the clean water in, cold water in. And it gives different types of ways to get energy into your house as well. This is where does water come from? How does it work? Go through the sewage plant. Like when you have sewage, how is the water cleaned? Now, I wasn't sure whether to put this in grade 1 or kindergarten, but what it is so it's the Sassafras Science Adventures. They have one for each area of science, for the 5 areas of science. And this one is zoology, and it's about these 2 kids that failed science, so then they have to go, and they have missions they have to do all summer. So this is zoology, so they go to the African plains, I guess you call them. And so every chapter, it has different information they're looking for, so you could easily look up additional information because it tells you what exactly the theme is, that chapter, their mission, that chapter. So I like those. I don't care for the rest of it's elemental science. I don't care for the rest of the stuff that goes along there. Next up we have, but they're good read-alongs if you want to just reinforce science principles just by, reading out loud. So this is what we have. It's a reverse checklist. It is in something that is wipeable. So it's just in, one of these envelopes, but anything, do you know what I mean? See-through and clear that you can put on if you don't laminate. And so every day you check off what needs to be done that day. This is if you have different, so when we go out, when we come home, I gotta check off, shoes gotta be put away. So we gotta look at our list every day and see what needs to be done, and we go from there. So it's kind of like, so it's not the same every day, because some days I need the kitchen dishwasher unloaded. Some days we do more schoolwork and reading, some days we do, so there you go. I call it the reverse checklist, as a way to, just in case your days are different every day, so you can't have the same checklist every day. The huge hit, rail wreck. This is how to teach art to children. Okay, so it deals with all the 7 different elements: line, shape, color, value, texture, form, and space. So it's easy for those of us who are not artistically inclined. Color, step by step. Give each children 3 squares of paper and the drawing tools, okay? So I also bought Sunlight's big drawing program as well. So I do have that to share with you sometime. If their big art package is what I mean. Mixing gradations of color. The background makes a difference. Contrasting colors. The colorful collage. Warm it up, cool it down. So it has a lot of interesting features or interesting things to teach as far as art goes for those of us that are not artistically inclined. Speaking of which, the next level up, I have another art book. I actually have 2 more if I remember the other one that I really like. Okay, so next up, I haven't opened it yet, but I have this plan so that they read 10 minutes alone. There we go. So they read 10 minutes on their own every day. It's a visual timer. So it's visual, which means, am I not doing this right? But this is what I'm gonna do is, okay, for 10 minutes you gotta read by yourself, just to instill because even if they can't read by themselves yet, the little kids still, I mean, first of all, they can look at the pictures, and second of all the books, if you reread a lot of books to them and reread the same ones, they'll be able to go and they remember the stories through that. So that's another idea I had that I haven't implemented yet. Let me talk about flashcards. So flashcards with sight words. I talked about it more yesterday in the language arts video, but the Dolce list, which is what the sight words, the Dolce list, which is what the sight words that kids learn in school and through reading programs is based on, is a list of 200 of the most popular words in 1936 that were in children's books at that time. Now, the thing is to teach your kids sight words, a big thing that is supposed to help and work, and it's a different way to learn to read than the phonics system, but I'm gonna incorporate it into both, and my cards haven't arrived yet, is to take the cards, to take the words, but it needs to be paired with a picture, because then that's the way the memory works. It'll be easier for them to memorize the sight word if they have it paired with a picture. And then you can flip it over eventually once they have the word memorized and it's just the word without the picture. So first they do picture word, and it has something to do, like say the word truck, for example, has a picture of a truck. Okay, just to pair it in their memory. And then go through all the flashcards, and then once they start memorizing them, you can do it without that picture of the truck to get them to memorize the sight words. Okay, so my cards haven't arrived yet, but when they do, I'll be sure to show them to you. Let's talk about one of my favorite math programs for little kids is, of course, the Math with Confidence. I love it for the kindergarten level. There's a different one. I have two favorites for when they get up. This is Spiral and this is Mastery. So if you're worried about, oh, is it Spiral? Is it Mastery? This is both. This is my son Lachlan's book. It is not worksheet based. So it's comparable to Right Start Math, but it's not worksheet based, so you do one worksheet a day or per lesson. Okay, so it's basically, what it is it's based on the instructor's guide, which is, I'm telling you, the simplest. Like even these pennies, the pennies that you need and the things come with the book. They're all at the back. So now you would need is these, some, I don't know what you call them, and some cue cards. I'm never good at sizing, and I bought really mini ones, which is okay for that. So those are two things you need for this. And then let's look at, like, one of the lessons is, okay, getting them to subitize, which is looking at small quantities together instead of counting them. The quickest way to do it is to subitize. So groups of 3, groups of 4. So you do that by showing them, hey, how many fingers do I have? Okay, how many fingers do I have? Just getting them used to subitizing. This one, you go get supplies and you're gonna you price them. You're gonna have a little store, 5 cents, 3 cents, 2 cents, 4 cents. So a pretend store with pennies. So as you can see, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for a lesson, and then you go and you do the worksheet. Okay, so it really is pure bonding time with your child without the intense time that it takes for Right Start Math, and without the price, because these are $50. It's $50 each year. So, and then $18 each additional book. So check this out. We got the Magic School Bus. Those are great because they're just great. A lot of the science stuff they teach through kids when they're little, I honestly think you can teach them via reading a lot. Okay, now let me show you a couple of things. They are out of print, but we have a bunch of them and we adore them. My little kids love them. Puzzle Castle, there's Puzzle Island, and what it is it's like deductive reasoning. Like, okay, which path which bridge is the safest to cross? For example, this one has a gator on it. All right, and then you look at this one, has holes in it and nothing to hold on to maybe. So this one can't even get to that bridge. All right, so you're really using, I guess you'd call it deductive reasoning. So that's what it is, and my kids love them, and I bought them for all different, the puzzle, the ocean, of course you get the muse. Let's check out this book for music. Now music, I want to talk to you about introducing. My kids love symphony music, classical music, and how I introduce them to it is I showed them David Garrett. I'm going to flip through this book while I'm talking about it. If you look up David Garrett and you look up his rock symphonies, I'll put a couple of song names on there. I can't show you the songs because YouTube won't let me. But his videos, what he does is he takes classical music, he takes famous classical music, and he takes, this book, by the way, is about mice that go to their first symphony. So he takes classical music, and he also takes like rock rock songs, and he makes them with, he's a violin player, and he makes them over, I guess in his style, I guess you'd say. So it's like rock symphonies is one of his albums, is what they're called, and I just love it. And so that's how I got them really into it, is we would listen to upbeat, fast of the music that he does, like the Pirates of the Caribbean song that he does, the Beethoven's Fifth song. It's called Fifth. Look up Fifth by David Garrett. Now this one has all these little things here, so it goes along, it tells you when to push them, and it's basically the mice listening to their first symphony orchestra. So it's quite great. Anyway, so because I listen to David Garrett and because I listen to all that fast music, they love it. Let's talk about all the language arts programs I have to show you. I have another one coming that I think is great. Now, I do like the all about reading, pre-reading you can do, but I don't think it's necessary. Next video I have a sponsor that reached out to me that is where you can get numerous amounts of worksheets for $2 for the whole year, or $3 for the whole year. And for the whole year, all the worksheets you could possibly imagine. And so what I did is I printed off, this is letter identification, and this is the printing of those letters. So now, along that note, I have showed you before, is it here? Did I bring it down? The handwriting without tears, or the handwriting with the handwriting without tears, that I think is fantastic to use for handwriting. Okay, so what I'm saying is that it's a little more easier than this because it shows them how to write handwriting without tears, but this is sufficient as far as letting them know the letter has a first name, and it's the name of the letter, and the last name, and the last name is the sound of the letter. Okay, so let's talk about history for a second. This history program, I'm very torn between. I don't care for it, and I'll show you why, but this is amazing. Now, it's very expensive. It's like $300, and it's very intensive. But look at this. So, cave paintings is what you do. This is by Winter's Promise, by the way. This is cave paintings. This is the Egyptian pyramid, so you're making it out of boxes. This is the Great Wall of China, making again out of box. There's a lot of box things, so you'd have to save all your giant Amazon boxes. Here's an Arctic igloo. Here's the Trojan horse. Here's the gladiator arena. The Christian catacombs, which I really want to go see. They're not too far away, and I'd really like to go see them from where we are at the moment. Okay, here's a Celtic chariot. Okay, so you get it. So this book, super cool, right? Hole up in a homemade hideaway. And this one is also very cool. It's kind of the same concept. The ancient people's murals, right? So make your own mummy, ancient people's storytelling. So it has these great elements to it that I wish I could buy separately. And then it has, of course it goes through, so it's not my favorite kids history program. I'm gonna show you my favorite kids history program in grade 1, because I just don't think you can start. So life in castles. So you look at this and you're like, hey, that's super cool. So this goes with this. It does like the ancient times, medieval times, and then modern times, right? So you're looking at life in castles. My issue with this is for little kids, for around the kindergarten age, is that look at how much text. That's just an intense amount of text for kids this age, in my opinion. I can't imagine getting them without the pictures, getting them to sit through and listen to all these dates and things that went on, the Crusades, stuff like that. Speaking of history, remember, if you check out our kids' YouTube channel, you can see us we actually go into a whole bunch of medieval castles, because they have a ton around here in various countries. We also go to playgrounds in various countries too. So that's why I don't like this program, and the price point. The price point is like several $100s. But again, I love those two things. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the video where I'm gonna show you my least favorite product. It's a product that I wish I hadn't purchased. It's several $100s, and I wish I could return it. I actually can return it, which is one thing I like about the company. So it's from Sunlight, but Sunlight and Bookshark are the same. They're not the same company. But this product that I'm about to show you, let me just flip it over here. This product that I'm about to show you is available from Bookshark, the exact same, and from Sunlight. So this is the science kit. So I have several issues with this. Now, I'm not saying the experiments aren't good. No, they're very cool experiments. For the kindergarten level, though, So these are the supply, so it's $79 for the supply box, okay? So right there, that would knock 100 off, but like, look at these obscure things that I'm supposed to track down. Cups, sure, but that orange pipey thing, I don't know if they're that clear pipey thing, a little styrofoam ball. There's some actual PVC pipe in there and stuff like that that I don't necessarily think I could track down. The other issue I have is, so these are the science experiments, which I thought if I bought 2 paper pack, like this was a consumable. What I didn't know is that for every child, there's consumables in here. There's consumable in the instructor's guide as well. So you got to buy this, this, and this pretty much for every kid, unless you want to photocopy it. So this is just, you're looking at the science experiments. What do beans need to sprout and things like that, right? So this is the kindergarten. Look how thick it is. It's like 4 days a week for science. Like, my goodness. How do snakes move? Very interesting. Let's just go to the beginning, which is ants. Okay, so how do ants walk? So now keep in mind that the K comes in the box, okay, 3/4 size pieces of clay and 2 pipe cleaners. But you'll need scissors and you'll need optional ruler. So all the material list that it does have, you still need to get more materials, which is fine. It's just, I'm just being picky. Like, I'm laying out all the things that I just, which again, finding those is not hard. But when you get to other things, sometimes there's a substantial list you got to track down that just come, quote, from your kitchen, like flour, cooking oil, flat surface you can do, plastic wrap, 2 books, but it is doable. So this is how do ants build tunnels. Okay, so very cool. So very cool experiments, a little intensive. But again, because it's got back here, it's got, when you flip through it, you will see it has different, these pages here that are not located in the kindergarten science experiments book, that are like in the consumables that you need. So that's a little confusing to me. It's a little confusing to me. Okay, only because then you need more, plus you need, right here. Now, I want my kids to have an extremely strong science foundation, and I believe I found the curriculum to do that, and I show you in the grade 1 video. But this is not it, only because this is a ton of busy work. And I bought it because I thought this looked cute, like what type of ants. It goes along with this Usborne ant book, which is I love Usborne books. I have a ton of them. I'm going to show you some in the next video, but which is so intensely full of ants. Like, look, we're still talking about some of the clever ways ants stay safe and how do ants work so hard. It's busy work. This is busy work. This is busy work, in my opinion. So it just depends if that's what you're into, whatever. And you can buy it separately if you just want to get the experiments and the kit and just, you know, you can do that and just ask them, like, the hypothesis. What do you think is going to happen? What do you predict will happen? And then do it and discuss what happens. So, but you can also, in my opinion, just get one of those National Geographic kits that has a bunch of experiments in them, or just go on Pinterest. And you say, please like and subscribe.
Please like, do like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.